Welcome to ZoomInData, your go-to channel for in-depth data engineering, analytics, and modern cloud technology interview preparation. In this video, we dive deep into the top 25 direct lake mode in Microsoft Fabric interview questions for 2025, updated as of early 2026. Perfect for data analysts, BI developers, and anyone preparing for Fabric, Power BI, or Lakehouse analytics roles. We cover core concepts, differences from import, direct query, performance benefits, OneLake integration, caching, framing, fallback behavior, security, real-time capabilities, governance, and best practices, all explained in clear, interview-ready technical language to help you confidently ace your next interview. 1. What is Direct Lake mode in Fabric? Direct Lake is a hybrid storage mode in Power BI semantic models that loads Delta Parquet files directly from OneLake into VertiPack memory on demand for high-performance querying. It combines import mode speed with direct query freshness, eliminating data duplication and full refresh cycles by referencing underlying Delta tables natively. As of 2026, it includes Direct Lake on OneLake, multi-source capable, and Direct Lake on SQL, endpoint-based, with evolving support for live editing in Power BI Desktop. Optimized for large analytical datasets, it leverages temperature-based caching and delta optimizations like vorder for efficient columnar access. 2. How does Direct Lake differ from import mode? Direct Lake queries live Delta data in OneLake without copying or importing, providing real-time freshness. Import duplicates data into VertiPack with scheduled refreshes. Direct Lake supports larger-than-memory datasets via on-demand loading and paging. Import is limited by capacity memory for full in-memory processing. Refresh in Direct Lake involves lightweight framing, metadata sync. Import requires full data reload, increasing overhead for large volumes. Direct Lake avoids duplication in OneLake. Import creates proprietary cached copies, impacting storage and governance. 3. How does Direct Lake differ from direct query? Direct Lake loads columns directly into memory from Parquet files for import-like performance. Direct query translates DAX to source queries, often SQL, with higher latency. Direct Lake avoids fallback latency in ideal conditions via native Delta access. Direct query always queries the source, sensitive to external database performance. Direct Lake on OneLake bypasses SQL endpoints entirely. Direct query relies on them, adding translation overhead. Direct Lake supports massive scale with Delta optimizations. Direct query performance degrades with complex aggregations or large results. 4. How does Direct Lake improve query performance? On-demand columnar loading with vorder and data skipping prunes irrelevant files, row groups, minimizing I/O for selective queries. Temperature-based caching keeps hot columns in memory for sub-second repeat queries, mimicking import speeds. Adaptive execution and automatic statistics optimize plans dynamically without manual tuning. Framing refreshes only metadata, enabling near-instant updates post-ingestion compared to full imports. 5. How does Direct Lake access data in OneLake? Direct Lake reads Parquet files directly from Delta tables in OneLake, using zero-copy shortcuts for external, virtual access. Multi-source support. Direct Lake on OneLake joins tables across lakehouses, warehouses without duplication. Metadata framing syncs schema changes automatically or manually for seamless alignment. Permissions inherit from OneLake item-level security, ensuring governed direct access. 6. How does Direct Lake handle data freshness? Direct Lake queries the latest Delta version on demand, reflecting changes immediately after upstream pipelines or Spark jobs complete. No scheduled refreshes needed for data. Framing updates pointers to new Parquet files in seconds. Incremental upstream loads, e.g., via CDF, ensure only deltas affect freshness without full reprocessing. Automatic page refresh in reports enables near real-time visuals on fresh data. 7. How does Direct Lake manage caching? Temperature-based paging prioritizes frequently accessed, hot columns in memory while evicting cold ones. Framing clears cache on schema file changes to ensure consistency, with subsequent queries repopulating. Node level and result set caching accelerate repeated visuals and aggregations. Memory limits per query capacity prevent overload, with paging for bigger than memory scenarios. 8. How does Direct Lake support large datasets? Scales to petabytes by loading only required columns, segments on demand from OneLake Delta files. Delta optimizations, clustering, V-order, enable efficient skipping on massive tables. Autoscaling bursts capacity for peak loads without fixed memory constraints. Avoids import limits by not duplicating data, ideal for lake-scale analytics. 9. How does Direct Lake integrate with Power BI? Semantic models use Direct Lake tables for live connected reports with sub-second interactivity. Power BI Desktop supports live editing and multi-table selection from OneLake catalog. Composite models blend Direct Lake with import for calculated RLS enhancements. Copilot and DAX authoring accelerate model building directly on lake data. 10. How does Direct Lake handle concurrency? Shared capacity autoscaling and smoothing distribute concurrent queries efficiently. In-memory columnar access minimizes blocking compared to source-dependent direct query. Throttling prevents overload during high-user report interaction. Monitoring tracks concurrent sessions and fallback occurrences. 11. How does Direct Lake manage security? Inherits OneLake item, workspace RBAC and object-level permissions for data access. Row-level RLS and column-level security enforce dynamic filtering in models. Fixed identity supports RLS evaluation without performance degradation. Sensitivity labels and purview propagate compliance across Lake and BI. 12. How does Direct Lake support incremental updates? Upstream incremental loads via pipelines, data flows, or change data feed update delta tables without full rewrites or model refreshes. Framing incorporates new Parquet files instantly, making deltas visible to queries in seconds without manual intervention. Composite models can apply traditional Power BI incremental refresh to import portions for hybrid efficiency. Ensures minimal resource usage and near real-time availability for evolving datasets in medallion architectures. 13. How does Direct Lake handle schema changes? Automatic framing detects compatible column additions or type changes in Delta logs and syncs metadata seamlessly. Manual framing via Power BI service or desktop forces immediate refresh for post-Spark schema evolution. Views in Lakehouse, warehouse abstract changes, maintaining stable model interfaces for consumers. Incompatible alterations trigger controlled fallback or require model reconnection to avoid errors. 14. How does Direct Lake optimize resource usage? Serverless on-demand loading bills only active query time through Fabric capacity units, eliminating idle overhead. Autoscaling bursts resources dynamically, preventing over-provisioning compared to always imported models. Zero data duplication reduces storage costs and refresh compute in large-scale deployments. Monitoring insights identify cold paths and fallback queries for targeted upstream optimizations. 15. How does Direct Lake manage memory? VertiPack engine transcodes Parquet columns into optimized in-memory segments with temperature-based paging for hot, cold prioritization. Per query and capacity memory quotas prevent exhaustion, gracefully paging to disk when needed for larger-than-memory scenarios. Framing invalidates cache on changes to guarantee consistency across sessions. Adaptive caching repopulates frequently used columns, accelerating iterative analysis and repeated visuals. 16. How does Direct Lake support real-time reporting? Direct Lake queries the most recent Delta version immediately after event streams or pipeline ingestion completes. Automatic page refresh in Power BI reports streams updates to visuals at configurable intervals for near real-time monitoring. Integration with real-time intelligence ensures low-latency landing of streaming events into accessible Delta tables. Minimal fallback risk with well-optimized Delta layouts delivers consistent sub-second interactivity in dashboards. 17. How does Direct Lake improve user experience? Sub-second response times on large, fresh datasets mimic import mode without scheduling or wait times for refreshes. Live editing in Power BI Desktop with auto-save to Fabric enables rapid prototyping and iteration. Seamless drill down and cross-filtering on governed lake data enhance self-service exploration. Eliminates refresh failures and stale data issues common in import, direct query models. 18. How does Direct Lake reduce data duplication? Zero-copy architecture references OneLake Delta files directly, avoiding proprietary caches created in import mode. Shortcuts virtualize external sources, enabling unified access without physical ingestion or copies. Single gold layer curation in medallion architecture serves multiple models, reports efficiently. Reduces storage sprawl and governance complexity in enterprise Lakehouse environments. 19. How does Direct Lake scale with workload demand? Fabric capacity autoscaling dynamically provisions resources for concurrent users and complex queries. Bigger-than-memory design handles dataset growth without predefined limits or partitioning overhead. Multi-source Direct Lake on OneLake scales cross-item joins and enterprise-wide analytics. Reserved capacities provide predictable performance for mission-critical reporting peaks. 20. How does Direct Lake support governance? End-to-end purview lineage traces lake transformations to report visuals for impact analysis. Endorsements, certifications, and domains promote discoverable, trusted Direct Lake models. Deployment pipelines with rules enforce staged promotions and approvals. Centralized OneLake security and sensitivity labels ensure compliant data access. 21. How does Direct Lake integrate with semantic models? Serves as the primary table storage mode for high-performance, real-time semantic models in Fabric. Supports full DAX measures, relationships, and calculation groups on Lake resident tables. Composite models extend Direct Lake with import tables for advanced calculations or RLS. TMDL and Git integration version Direct Lake model definitions for governed lifecycle. 22. How does Direct Lake affect power by licensing? Requires fabric capacity, FSKUs, or power by premium for full Direct Lake capabilities and scaling. Eliminates separate premium per user needs within fabric tenants via unified licensing. Pay-for-use model optimizes costs by charging only active query and framing time. Supports production embedding with capacity-backed SLAs and no additional fees. 23. How does Direct Lake handle failover? Relies on Fabric's geo-redundant OneLake storage and high availability capacity for durability. Queries gracefully fall back to direct query on SQL endpoints during transient disruptions if configured. Automatic retry and framing recovery maintains session consistency post-outage. Multi-region capacities enable configured failover for enterprise resilience. 24. How does Direct Lake support enterprise analytics? Enables petabyte scale, real-time reporting with governed access across domains via OneLake unification. Conformed semantic models deliver consistent KPIs for thousands of concurrent users. Embedded analytics and paginated reports consume Direct Lake securely at scale. Hybrid composite models address complex enterprise requirements like forecasting or what-if. 25. What are best practices for Direct Lake usage? Optimize underlying delta tables with V-order, clustering, liquid clustering, and regular auto-compaction. Optimize for minimal fallback. Prefer Direct Lake on OneLake for multi-source models. Use composite sparingly for calculations needing import. Monitor fallback queries via DAX Studio and capacity metrics. Prime cache for critical paths with pre-warming. Implement gold layer curation, robust governance via purview, pipelines, and test schema changes in dev environments. Thank you for watching. If this video helps you prepare for your Microsoft Fabric interview, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your network. Don't forget to subscribe to ZoomInData and hit the bell icon for more in-depth data engineering, analytics, and cloud technology interview prep videos every week. Drop your questions or topic requests in the comments. Let's zoom in on your success together.